अनेकदिव्याभरणं दिव्यानेकोद्यतायुधम् सर्वाश्चर्यमयं देवम् अनन्तं विश्वतोमुखम् सहस्रस्य भवेद्युगपदुत्थिता यदि भाससदृशी सा स्यात् भासस्तस्य महात्मनः
Please welcome your host for the evening, Nandita Khemka.
I'm left speechless after this beautiful performance. What a mesmerizing show. Well, first of all, I would like to request all of you to give a standing ovation for Ability Unlimited, India's extremely talented wheelchair dance theatre group. Their inspiring and empowering performance makes for the perfect opening for our grand event celebrating the courageous women and men, breaking stereotypes and barriers, and building new paths for positive growth and transformation. Well, hello and welcome everyone to the grand finale of Network 18 presents Badlaav Humse Hai, powered by AU Small Finance Bank. I am Nandita Khemka and I'm honored to be hosting the culmination of this change-making initiative. Now, Badlaav Humse Hai, as the name suggests, is a campaign reminding individuals of the power within themselves to bring about change. Now, across India, there are many heroic individuals who've committed their lives to social and environmental welfare. For the last 6 months, the Badlaav Humse Hai campaign's mission has been to discover and showcase the work of these unsung heroes. From the northernmost to the southernmost tip of India, we have identified 20 changemakers empowering their community, society, and the nation through their commitment to change. So let us begin from the beginning, the Badlaav Humse Hai journey.
The power to shape the future belongs not just to a few, but to all of us. However, there are only a few who have the courage and perseverance to bring a change for the welfare of others. Network 18's campaign, Badlaav Humse Hai, powered by AU Small Finance Bank, is a mega initiative that celebrates the efforts of 20 changemakers who are on a journey to create positive change towards a more inclusive, fair, and sustainable community for all.
जिंदगी में कुछ भी करने के लिए बस एक ही चीज़ की ज़रूरत होती है, वो है खुद पर विश्वास।
हम सब में कोई ना कोई हुनर जरूर है। अगर खुद पे विश्वास है तो खड़े रहे, अड़े रहे।
आप सब अपना अपना एक एक कदम रखेंगे तो सोसाइटी में चेंज आएगी, सोसाइटी में बदलाव आएगी।
From the northernmost tip to the southernmost land of India, from education to employment, transforming million lives, building a better society. These are change makers on a mission.
Now, it has been Sorry, I think I'm too eager to speak. Pardon me. It has been an incredible journey, an initiative that we have been proud to spearhead. Today, in this grand finale, we bring together advocates of change from all spheres of life: government, entertainment, business, and civil society organizations to felicitate the Badlaav Humse Hai changemakers for their meaningful actions. Here are some words of encouragement and congratulations from our eminent chief guest, Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde, a leader synonymous with driving inclusive growth and sustainable change.
नमस्कार। नेटवर्क 18 और AU स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक द्वारा आयोजित बदलाव हमसे है इस कार्यक्रम में सहभागी सभी मान्यवरों का मैं तहे दिल से स्वागत करता हूं। बदलाव हमसे है ये एक शानदार पहल है। आज इस कार्यक्रम में कुछ ऐसे खास शख्सियत सम्मानित हो रहे हैं जिन्होंने अपने बुलंद हौसले से बदलाव की नई कहानी लिखी है। उन्होंने सिर्फ खुद के जीवन को ही नहीं बदला बल्कि दूसरों की भलाई के लिए भी काम किया है। मुझे इस कार्यक्रम में प्रमुख अतिथि के तौर पर शामिल होकर गर्व महसूस हो रहा है। आज सम्मानित हो रहे इन सभी खास लोगों की प्रोफाइल मैंने देखी है। इन सभी में एक बात कॉमन है, इन्होंने जो भी अचीव या हासिल किया है अपनी कड़ी मेहनत लगन से हासिल किया है। आज के सम्मानित मान्यवरों में एक है डॉक्टर मनोज कुमार, जिन्होंने ग्रामीण इलाकों में मानसिक रोगों से जूझ रहे मरीजों को हाई क्वालिटी मेंटल हेल्थ सुविधाएं मुहैया की है, मानसिक रोगों से जूझ रहे मरीजों का इलाज किया है। डॉक्टर मनोज कुमार के अलावा दूसरे महेश यादव जी है जो HIV पॉजिटिव बच्चों को सशक्त बना रहे ताकि वो बिना किसी भेदभाव के सम्मान के साथ जीवन जी सके। ये सभी अपनी सोच को हकीकत में बदलकर हमें हर रोज़ नई प्रेरणा देते हैं। फिर आते हैं डॉक्टर योगा यश नाम्बियार जैसे लोग जो ट्रांसजेंडर समुदाय को सशक्त बनाने की दिशा में काम कर रहे हैं और उन्होंने आर्थिक और सामाजिक तौर पर नए अवसर दे रहे हैं। इस लिस्ट में प्रियंका निरंजन जैसे प्रशासनिक अधिकारी भी है जो वाटर बॉडीज़ को रिवाइव करके इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस को रिस्टोर किया है, जिससे देश में पानी की कमी से लड़ने में अहम भूमिका निभा रहे हैं। मैं इस शानदार मुहिम से जुड़े सभी लोगों को बधाई देता हूं जो पिछले 6 महीने से इसमें जुटे हुए हैं और अब देश के रियल हीरोज़ को सम्मानित करने में अहम भूमिका निभा रहे हैं। मुझे प्रोफेसर चेतन एस सोलंकी के बारे में पढ़कर अच्छा लगा जो सोलर और रिन्यूएबल सोर्सेस ऑफ एनर्जी को लेकर जागरूकता फैला रही है। साथ ही सुखियाबाई जैसे शख्सियत जो अपनी तरह दूसरी किसान महिलाओं को भी आर्थिक स्वतंत्र बनाने में जुटी है। हमारे ये अनसंग हीरोज देश के लिए एक नई राह तैयार कर रहे हैं और अपने कामों से मानवता की मिसाल पेश कर रहे हैं। समाज में बदलाव लाना बेहद मुश्किल होता है क्योंकि आपको कई बार चुनौतियों का सामना करना पड़ता है। लोग आपके इरादों पर शक करते हैं और कई बार खुद आपके कदम भी डगमगाते लगते हैं, लेकिन सही रास्ते पर चलने और लोगों के लिए अच्छा काम करने की संतुष्टि का कोई जोड़ नहीं होता। पिछले 5 महीनों से हम महाराष्ट्र के लोगों के लिए बड़े फैसले ले रहे हैं। दुनिया में बदलाव लाने का यही जज्बा नेटवर्क 18 और AU स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक की इस पहल बदलाव हमसे है। मैं देख रहा हूँ इस शानदार मुहिम के लिए बधाई देता हूँ और हमारी आशा है कि यह मुहिम इसी तरह आने वाले कई सालों तक जारी रहे और समाज को उजाले की ओर ले जाती रहे। पुनश्च एक बार सभी सम्मानित मान्यवरों को बधाई देता हूँ। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र।
Well, thanks to our Honorable Chief Minister for those words of encouragement. I would now like to call upon stage Lata Venkatesh, who's the Executive Editor of CNBC TV18, to lead this evening and the many conversations and felicitations. Lata ma'am.
Thank you, Nandita. On behalf of CNBC TV18 and AU Finance Bank, may I welcome all of you, big and small. In fact, this hall is full of only big people. Thank you very much for joining us in celebrating underappreciated people. You know, CNBC TV18's day job is to speak about large corporates. Now, we often have programs where we felicitate people who have achieved a lot in the world of industry, in the world of business. There are a lot more good work and revolutionary work done by a lot of underappreciated people, and that is what our program Badlaav Humse Hai celebrates. That is why, at least for me personally, this is more important and more celebratory than the day job that CNBC TV18 does. It's one of those programs that I'm personally very proud of. And I want to thank in particular AU Small Finance Bank for giving us this idea, for partnering it. I'm amazed that this idea has come to us from them, and I want to hear from Sanjay Agarwal later on in the evening what inspired him. Why this slogan? You know, we normally have banks which give us a slogan about profit from us or profit with us. This is a revolutionary slogan, and I will speak to Sanjay Agarwal later on that. We are particularly thankful to the government of Maharashtra. Not only has the Chief Minister given us words of encouragement, we are also encouraged by the fact that he has requested a senior minister Mr. Mangal Prabhat Lodha to attend the function and to guide us. Mr. Lodha is one of those persons who has leveraged his own political power to ensure that causes like these, I believe animal welfare is a cause very dear to him. He has used his power and his ability to make change for causes like these. Mr. Lodha, we are particularly glad that you have personally come and encouraged us in this function. May I request you to come and say a few words.
नेटवर्क 18 द्वारा आयोजित इस सामाजिक सम्मान समारोह में भारत के कोने कोने से आए हुए ऐसे लोग जिन्होंने संसद में बैठकर नहीं बल्कि छोटे से गांव में बैठकर, किसी स्कूल की शेड में बैठकर, किसी मेकशिफ्ट होटल में, हॉस्पिटल में बैठकर भारत में जो सरकार को करना चाहिए और सरकार जिसमें कम पड़ी वो जिन लोगों ने किया है उनको बहुत बहुत सलाम, उनका बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन। नेटवर्क 18 ने जिन लोगों को चुना है, सत्यार्थी साहब यहाँ पर हैं, नोबेल प्राइज़ विनर हैं, आमटे साहब हैं, रुमा देवी जी और हम दोनों एक ही गांव के हैं। वैसे जिस बैंक ने इनको, इस एयू स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक ने भी जो इस पूरा भी आपने बताया कि ये कंसेप्ट में भी उनका रोल था, तो ये सब लोग इसलिए कर पाए कि, और आप भी शायद इसीलिए इसको अडॉप्ट कर पाए क्योंकि ये आपके संस्कारों में था। और संस्कारों में जब ऐसा होता है तो वो किसी स्कूल में या किसी क्लास में सिखाया नहीं जाता, वो हमको अपने परिवार से मिलता है। और समाज के अंदर आपने बड़े बड़े कॉरपोरेट हाउसेस को यहाँ पर सम्मान किया, उनको बुलाया, उनको स्टेज दिया। शायद उसमें एक बहुत अच्छा मैसेज गया होगा, पर उससे बहुत अच्छा स्ट्रॉन्ग मैसेज तब जाता है जब आप उन लोगों को आगे लाते हैं जिनको और कोई अंगुली थामकर इस बड़े नेटवर्क में, आपका नेटवर्क आज इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा नेटवर्क है, सब लोग आपको बहुत रेस्पेक्ट से देते हैं। आप कोई बात कहते हैं तो उसको मान के चला जाता है कि ये बात 99% नहीं 100% सच है। और ऐसे स्टेज के अंदर से आपने इन सारे लोगों का सम्मान किया है, मैं आपका मन से धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। बहुत सारे लोगों का हमको सम्मान करना है, कुछ लोगों को हमको सुनना भी है, पर मैं इतना ज़रूर कह सकता हूँ कि अभी हमारे मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ राव जी शिंदे ने आपको यहाँ पर कहा, उप मुख्यमंत्री और मेरे नेता माननीय देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी, वो आज इस कार्यक्रम में आने वाले थे और किसी कारण से वो नहीं आ सके, इसलिए उनके आदेश पर मैं यहाँ पर आया हूँ। मैं इतना ही कहकर अपनी बात समाप्त करूँगा कि जीवन में बदलाव लाने के लिए एक बहुत अच्छी शुरुआत नेटवर्क 18 ने की है। माननीय पंतप्रधान नरेंद्र भाई मोदी ने जिस तरह से 2014 के अंदर भारत में बदलाव लाने की शुरुआत की थी, और अभी जो हमारा अमृत महोत्सव लास्ट अगस्त से शुरू हुआ, आपने भी ये बदलाव का अमृत महोत्सव अगस्त में ही शुरू किया। और जब तक ये भारत का पूरा बदलाव सब लोग हम एक तरीके से नहीं सोचने लग जाएं और हर व्यक्ति को उसका सम्मान नहीं मिले, तब तक ये बदलाव की प्रक्रिया चलती रहेगी। दिल्ली में मोदी जी चलाते रहेंगे, भारत में नेटवर्क 18 चलाता रहेगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Mr. Mangal Prabhat ji, thank you very much for giving us such a space of honor. We are very thankful to the Maharashtra government to have sent you, and he's the Minister of Tourism, Skill Development, Entrepreneurship, and Women and Child Welfare. So absolutely the person whom we want in this function. Thank you very much for your words of encouragement. We will try and live up to the image that you have given us. Now with that, let me invite the person who actually gave us the inspiration for this. May I invite Sanjay Agarwal, the Managing Director and CEO of AU Small Finance Bank. Can we have hand mics, please? It's not very fair to be tied up behind the podium, isn't it?
Is it all right? Namaskar. Good evening.
Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, the Managing Director and CEO of AU Small Finance Bank, is one of those few, perhaps only banker who does not have the corporate head office in Mumbai. What does it tell you? He's a man who genuinely works from the grassroots, a man who is genuinely very close to his customers.
Thank you. Thank you, Lata. Thank you so much. Appreciate.
Sanjay, the main thing I wanted to ask you is, like I said when I welcomed everyone, Badlaav Humse Hai is a very rare kind of slogan, unusual kind of slogan.
Yeah.
आपने ये चुना ही क्यों?
Oh, so thank you so much for this question, because generally people don't ask this kind of why Badlaav, but I think there are two stories around it. But one is why Badlaav. So I think I would give credit to the whole campaign which we ran last year, with the help of Amir and this team, and of course the entire our team. So Badlaav came from that one, but I think I won't touch that point as of now. But if you allow me more time, then I will explain that idea. But I think I would say that Network18, and when we were in touch with Network18, and we proposed them that we need some kind of, awareness, some kind of brand building. So, and we want to propose the Badlaav Humse program. And I would appreciate the way you people took that, in that way that, let's go cross country. I think there were 100 odd people you selected, and out of that 20 people are here.
Absolutely.
So I would want to congratulate everybody on their side that, you guys have done fabulous job, because Badlaav is not easy. Badlaav आपको जीना पड़ता है. Badlaav आपके मन में रहना चाहिए. And I think the way today we have building all this thing, it just shows that how serious we are towards this whole concept Badlaav Humse Hai. It's a challenging one. It's challenge you every day.
Okay, Sanjay,
and the
I
other
don't
story,
mean to interrupt,
yeah.
but
So
I
other-
want to ask you,
sorry.
आपने बदलाव लाया कैसे? Have
So-
you made a difference which is different
So,
from other banks?
Lata, you are from banking fraternity, and you know the whole story. I
I'm
would
only
say,
a reporter of the bank.
but you are there. I know you are the authority there. So, 2015, when we got the license, I would appreciate the regulator. They allowed us to become a bank from a universal to small finance bank. I think सबसे बड़ा बदलाव तो small finance bank को लेके आए गए, because we were knowing PSU banks हैं, private sector banks हैं, but suddenly you saw a small finance bank, right?
Yes.
So it's not easy for regulator also. So I think we brought that change that, let's go small, let's go more inclusive, and we brought the Badlaav in the sense that we want to price the depositors with a higher interest rate, and really want to give loans to the smaller guys who are into the hinterlands, right? And I'm a first generation entrepreneur, Lata, and I think by getting the license, which is the most powerful license of the world, banking, for me is a public good. It's not easy to get this license, and then they give me a license, and the biggest, and you said about that, we started only from Jaipur. So we never changed our headquarters, because we want to inspire people from the ground that a small town guy can get the license and can become the largest small finance bank of this country, right? That's why we are not in Bombay, right? So I think these are the small things which we have done over the years. But if you go deeper in the banking, and so in banking, what we have done the changes, like, we are paying monthly interest. I think, I don't know how many people know that. Banks generally charge you monthly, but pay you maybe quarterly or maybe 6 months, right? But we started the practice that, if you charge monthly, you have to pay monthly. I think that's the biggest change, and I think no bank is doing in this country as of now. And many more things, I think
Sanjay,
in the interest of time,
I
right?
want to know, this is what I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
How do you conquer the lack of literacy? I mean, everyone who comes to the bank does not know to read and write, or read and write with felicity.
Yeah.
वो बदलाव आप कैसे
I think,
conquer करते हो?
honestly, Lata, I don't think that banks are supposed to teach you, right? We don't challenge people, right? We need to facilitate the entire banking ecosystem around them and their own likings, right? So in the village area, Lata, and I used to talk to my people back at the time of demonetization that बैंकों के आगे बाहर लाइन लगती थी स्लिप भरने के लिए, because people were not supposed to write. They don't know how to write the slips. So when we became a bank, we said no. It's a time of technology. Why can't the cashier give them a slip and they just come and give the money, and we should issue them a slip, right? And that's a huge hit. And that's happened because of your technology helping in giving the system-driven slips, right?
Yeah, I guess Jandhan and
Like,
Aadhaar.
for example, 25 years back, you were having a ration card. A bank account opening was done in 1 month time with the 2 guarantors. Now, when we started a bank, we gave a tap banking to every single individual to open a bank account in 2 minutes through your Aadhaar, right? But these are the changes we brought in to facilitate the banking seamless, convenient, and easy. Yeah.
Well, I will want to invite the Nobel Prize winner first,
Yeah.
but a very quick question.
Yeah.
Have you seen Badlaav in your borrowers?
I think completely. I think I have not seen only in borrowers, to be very honest, entire country, entire world, society in large in last 30, 40 years has completely Badlaav themselves. And borrower, I think if you see, everybody is talking about an amazing credit run for next 10 years because 20 years back, we were afraid of lending. Yeah, paise kho denge. But I think by evident of CIBIL, by evident of culture of repaying you back, I think the credit culture in this country has gone to next level, right? I think if lending becomes safe, banking becomes safe, right?
Aapke muh mein ghee shakkar.
I think
hope
it will
that
be there.
happens.
It will be there. Yeah.
Thank you
No,
very
thank you
much,
so
Sanjay
much.
Agarwal, and for partnering us.
No, thank you
with
so much.
Badlaav
Pleasure.
Humse Hai.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sanjay, and for the opportunity to meet such wonderful people through Badlaav Humse Hai. And now I want to invite one person who has made a difference to thousands, hundreds of thousands of very small children. They are our future, and Mr. Kailash Satyarthi has made a difference to literally hundreds, I should say millions of children. Mr. Satyarthi, may I welcome you to the stage.
Thank you.
Sir, before I ask for your message, your advice to everyone who is gathered here, I want to ask you a personal question. Sure. I mean, you've come from not a tier 1 city or a metro city. Your origins were in Vidisha, you know, in a place in Madhya Pradesh which is, you know, less known. How did you inspire yourself to, I mean, your father, I believe, was a police constable. So what was this magical moment that made you live for something other than yourself?
True. I come from a small town, Vidisha. But in fact, last night, the middle of the night, I came from a very beautiful town in South Korea.
Oh, okay.
It was minus 16-degree temperature last evening when we traveled, my wife and I. And this was a small but beautiful place, Pyongyang. Okay. It was in the border of North and South Korea. And it was symbolic because there's a lot of things going on there. But more importantly, first time, the Nobel Peace Laureates Summit was held yesterday and day before yesterday. So we were 4 individual laureates and 6 organizational representatives of Nobel Peace Prize winners. So yesterday I traveled from there. Okay. And today with you. So in Vidisha, the first day of my schooling was a kind of spark, the first spark in my life. I was 5.5-year-old and went to a normal municipal school. And when I was entering, I saw a cobbler boy sitting outside the school gate at the doorstep along with his father. And when I was entering, I saw that he was looking at my feet and the feet of other children. Perhaps we can give him a job of shoe shining or shoe polishing, but all of us were wearing new shoes. When I entered there, I asked the first question in my life to my teacher. मैंने पूछा, मात साहब, एक बच्चा बाहर बैठा है, वो हमारे साथ, बाकी बच्चों के साथ classroom में क्यों नहीं? He was surprised and he said, calm down, this is your new day. दोस्त बनाओ नए. तो मैं दोस्त बनाने के चक्कर में उसी के बारे में सोचता रहा. When I came back, I saw the boy still sitting under the open sky. घर में भी मैंने पूछा, सब लोगों ने कहा कि it's not uncommon, poor children have to work. ये बात जो टीचर ने कही, वही सब ने कही. Every day I used to see that boy in the morning and afternoon. And that made me angry a little bit, also sad, very disappointed. So one day I gathered my courage when I was coming back from school. I stopped and asked this to this boy कि बेटा भाई तुम स्कूल क्यों नहीं जाते हो? तो वो तो इतना शाय था कि नीचे आंखें करके बैठ गया. लेकिन उसके पिता ने खड़े होकर कहा हाथ जोड़कर, बाबूजी मैंने तो कभी सोचा नहीं. मेरे तो बाप दादे परदादे मैं मेरा और अब मेरा बेटा यही काम करते हैं, जूता सुधारने का, जूता बनाने का, पॉलिश करने का. मैं रोने लगा. जब मैं पहले दिन स्कूल गया तो बच्चे की आंखें जो सूखी हुई आंखें थी, हेल्पलेस हेल्पलेस, utter miserability. I was holding those eyes inside my classroom. And that made me angry that what my mother, my teachers, the wise people say कि भाई ये तो चलता है. ये क्यों चलता है? मेरे साथ क्यों नहीं चलता? मेरे लिए तो कहा गया था कि स्कूल जाएंगे 5-6 साल के सब बच्चे, और एक बच्चा बाहर क्यों है? That gave me a different perspective. I started questioning the whole world. I started seeing the world with different eyes. कि भाई जगह जगह बच्चे कहीं काम कर रहे हैं, भीख मांग रहे हैं, ये वो. तो मुझे लगा कि जो बात चली आ रही है सदियों से कि भाई चलता है ये ऐसा, कहीं जात पात के नाम पर, कहीं मजहबों के नाम पर, कहीं देशों के नाम पर, कहीं विचारधाराओं के नाम पर, ये इंसानियत को बांटती है और कुछ लोगों को पीछे धकेलती है. इसमें बदलाव की ज़रूरत है. ये विचार मेरे मन में बहुत कम उम्र में आया, लेकिन मेरे पास कोई जवाब नहीं था. लेकिन आज जब आपने लिखा है ना ये बदलाव हमसे है, इट्स नॉट जस्ट ए स्लोगन, नीदर जस्ट ए टॉपिक और टॉपिक ऑफ ए कैंपेन, टाइटल ऑफ ए कैंपेन. व्हेन यू से बदलाव हमसे है, इसका मतलब ये है कि हम एक सपना देखते हैं
और ये जिम्मेदारी हम पे है.
हम एक संकल्प लेते हैं और हम ये जिम्मेवारी लेकर संघर्ष के लिए तैयार होते हैं, क्योंकि बदलाव बिना कोई परिवर्तन दुनिया में बिना संघर्ष के, बिना सपने के, बिना संकल्प के नहीं आता. और जिन लोगों ने ये हासिल किया है, जो 20 लोग हैं, मैं सबसे पहले उनको प्रणाम करता हूं अपने तरीके से.
You know, Mr. Satyarthi, जैसे आपने कहा, there are a lot of 20 people here who have made a difference to the world around them. They will want to know, how do you scale it up? I mean, you have made a difference to the world. Their world is at the moment small. What advice will you give them in terms of scalability? Which doors in the government or corporate do you knock at for help?
देखिए, इसमें बहुत लोग बैठे हैं. बहन दिया मिर्जा जी बैठी हैं, आपटे जी बैठे हैं, और वो लोग भी शायद बैठे होंगे. मैं देख रहा हूँ कुछ बहनें और भाई बैठे हैं जो बदलाव ला चुके हैं छोटे छोटे स्तर पर. लेकिन एज यू हैव रिटन, एवरी चेंज मैटर्स. ये बूंद बूंद से ही समुद्र बनता है. What I learned in my life, on the basis of that I can tell, I am not here to give an advice to anyone. I would rather be inspired and motivated with the grassroots work of many of these heroes. तो पहली चीज़ मैं सोचता हूँ, I have a 3D formula. So my first D, वो 3D वाला नहीं जो सिनेमा में आप लोग कुछ बना देते हो फिल्म, हम लोग चश्मा लगा के देखते हैं. So my first D is dream.
Okay.
If you are allowed to dream, why you dream small? ये जो आपका बैंक है, AU बैंक, एक दिन इसका नाम बदल के बिग बैंक भी हो जाएगा, बिग फाइनेंसिंग बैंक.
AI बैंक, ऑल इंडिया बैंक.
तो न्यूज़ 18 के साथ आप लोग जो कर रहे हैं, होना एक दिन. So if you are allowed to dream, as I said, why do you dream small? Big, dream bigger, dream the biggest. भाई आपको भगवान ने ड्रीम करने का अवसर दिया है, तो बड़े से बड़ा ड्रीम देखो. ये जो कुछ लोग राजनीति में जाते हैं, वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कॉरपोरेटर का फिर एमएलए बनने का ड्रीम देखते हैं। अरे भाई, भारत का प्रधानमंत्री बनने से नीचे का ड्रीम मत देखो, ऐसे ड्रीम देखो. So have big dream.
And the second
But those who dream for themselves, they are not change makers. They are not going to rewrite the history of humankind for the betterment. History is created only by those who can dream big and biggest, but also for the humanity, for others. This is one D. The second D is discover. Discover your inner power. भगवान ने, अल्लाह ने हमें बहुत कंजूसी के साथ पैदा नहीं किया, छोटा सा पावर दे के हाथ में, छोटा सा पोटेंशियल हाथ में दे के. We are all born with divine power. And that power must be acknowledged. सबसे पहले हम देखें हमारे भीतर की ताकत को, पोटेंशियल को, क्षमता को, और सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ देखें. तो दूसरा डी है डिस्कवर the inner power, but also discover the outside opportunities. The world is so beautiful. World is so good. We have to discover the world's opportunities. What kind of opportunities make it more better, more sustainable, more peaceful. So discover two things, outside world and yours. And if you are able to dream and discover, well, what else remains? Whom are you waiting for? कोई आसमान से फरिश्ता आके या किसी बड़ी गद्दी पर बैठकर कोई दुनिया को नहीं बदलता. छोटे छोटे जगह से निकलने वाले पौधे सबसे खूबसूरत हवा लाते हैं जो हमारी सांस बनती है. जो छोटे छोटी बालियां निकलती हैं खेतों में से, वो हमारी ज़िंदगी की वजह बनती हैं, वो हमें ज़िंदा रखती हैं, चावल की और गेहूं की और दाल की और सब्जी की. तो हमें ध्यान रखना है कि जब हम ये दो काम कर रहे हैं, दो चीज़ हासिल कर चुके हैं, so you don't wait for anyone else to come and change your life and your destiny.
So the third D will be?
बताइए क्या हो सकता है?
Develop.
Develop तो हो गया तभी तो. The third is very simple but very difficult, and third is do.
Do.
Act now. Whom are you waiting for? Act now. This is the time. You are the people. This is the place to dream big for ourselves and for the whole world. Discover the power within and outside, and then act, do.
Okay. So Satyarthi, this is extremely inspiring. Thank you very much for being with us and for giving us a different kind of 3D vision.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It adds a fourth dimension. Thank you
you.
very much, sir. Okay. I think a loud round of applause is called for. It's not every day that we get to meet a Nobel Prize winner to come and inspire us, so a loud round of applause. We have more change makers, and right now another change maker, Mr. Amir Khan, has offered to give us his message, so listen in.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to congratulate Network18 and AU Small Finance Bank for organizing this event, which recognizes the work of people who are change makers, जो लोग हमारे समाज में बदलाव लाते हैं, हमारी जिंदगियों को बेहतर बनाते हैं. So I'd like to congratulate all the winners for the wonderful work that you have done. Many congratulations. I wish I was there this evening, but unfortunately I'm not able to be there. But Sanjay ji and the entire team of AU Bank is there. And Sanjay ji, बहुत बधाई हो आपको, and have a great evening, all of you. Namaskar.
Well, that was Mr. Amir Khan with his kind words. Well, with the context firmly set, let us now begin with the highlight of the grand finale, the felicitation ceremony. The first felicitation category is the healthcare nurturers. As the name suggests, this category encompasses change makers focused on improving accessibility and availability of healthcare in the nation, from spreading awareness to breaking the stigma associated with medical conditions, to providing free of cost healthcare. Our change makers are true nurturers of a healthier society and tomorrow. Before we begin, here's a short clip revealing the might of the Badlaav Humse Hai healthcare nurturers.
While we are making strides in the healthcare domain, there are many who can't afford or have the access to even the basic medical care. Meet the healthcare nurturers who, with their limited time, medical knowledge and expertise, have managed to significantly impact their healthcare environments and improve health outcomes for those in need. By performing free corrective cleft lip surgeries in India, Dr. Subodh Kumar Singh is protecting and restoring smiles of many children. Dr. Manoj Kumar is ensuring accessible mental health care to rural communities in India. Kiran Verma is on a 21,000-kilometer walk to spread the importance of blood donation. Instilling faith in humanity, Harjinder Singh, a one-man army, is running an auto ambulance to help road accident victims. Swagatika, a cancer survivor, is on a mission to make India a cancer-free nation. Badlaav Humse Hai is honored to felicitate these change makers who are inspiring hope and transforming lives.
Well, what an inspiration. I would now like to call on stage Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, and of course Lata Venkatesh to felicitate Badlaav Humse Hai's healthcare nurturers. Let me also invite the people we are celebrating this evening in this category, Dr. Subodh Kumar Singh. Congratulations, Mr. Subodh. Calling Kiran Verma on the stage next. Congratulations. Next up, Swagatika Acharya. Yes, please, louder round of applause for Ms. Swagatika. Next up, Harjinder Singh. And the next change maker, Dr. Manoj Pandey, unfortunately couldn't join us this evening. Well, congratulations to the healthcare nurturers and thank you, guests. Thank you. Well, moving forward, our next conversation brings together leaders from the world of entertainment, politics and finance who are invested in ushering Badlaav through their actions. Joining us is Dr. Shrikant Shinde, a member of Lok Sabha who is passionate about creating positive changes in his constituency and supporting the common man. Of course, there's Dia Mirza, who has been extremely vocal about environmental causes, which has led her to receive the honor of being a UN Environment Program Goodwill Ambassador. And of course, she happens to be one of my favorite actresses, and I loved her in Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein, which I keep watching over and over again. Well, we also have Mr. Uttam Tibrawal, Executive Editor, AU Small Finance Bank, the person behind the larger thought of Badlaav Humse Hai. Please welcome Dr. Shrikant Shinde, Dia Mirza, and Uttam Tibrawal. Lata ma'am, can I have you on stage, please?
Can you all please take the mics? Let's come. Well, we have with us 3 stars, and I'm waiting to be enlightened by what they have to say. Well, let me start with the lady, with your permission, Dr. Shrikant. Okay, Dia, you've lent your name, you have lent your efforts and your, your time to a whole lot of causes. From the start in Hyderabad, you have been even against female feticide, women's problems. But environment, what inspired you to take up that cause?
Thank you. Let me start by saying thank you so much for having me here. Badlaav Humse Hai is a powerful initiative, and I'm very grateful to Network18 and AU Bank for doing this. I think it's a combination of a few things. When I started to work in film, I had the opportunity to support some wonderful organizations from civil society who were working towards helping children who were suffering from cancer, and women and children especially. And through many of my conversations with the doctors, I realized that a lot of the cancers that were spreading in the country and were being dealt with were caused by environmental degradation and pollution. So polluted food, polluted water, polluted soil and air. And I think growing up in Hyderabad, there was already a very firm relationship built with nature, given the open spaces, the opportunity to climb trees, and just a love for the natural world. And I think very early on in my work, in social work, I realized that there was a big gap between this basic understanding that people were working in silos and it wasn't really reaching mainstream society, which was the fundamental thought that environmental health is entirely connected to human health. And that if we truly want to become healthier and we truly want peace and prosperity and growth, we have to become more ecologically aware. Our environmental consciousness needs to improve, and more than anything else, as human beings, we need to repair our broken relationship with nature.
Oh, absolutely.
And I had the privilege of being mentored by some of the most dynamic people in environmentalism in the country, Mr. Bittu Sehgal from Sanctuary and Mr. Vivek Menon from Wildlife Trust of India. And I've gone on to work with great organizations, and I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And from where we started and when we started, it's just good to see that more and more people have become aware that our life is inseparable from nature, that everything we hope for and everything that we are comes from nature and must go back to nature in the form that continues to keep us healthy.
Okay. That's very well said. Our ancient scriptures told us, Jivo Jivasya Bhojanam. The life cycle has always been emphasized, but we forget it when we are chasing material benefits. I think all three of you must come into the limelight. Okay. You are a little away from it. Okay, Dr. Shrikant Shinde, your perhaps first encounter, or at least we knew of your encounter with health initiatives when you put up those jumbo facilities during COVID. what does this Badlaav mean to you? I mean, in every small way and big.
First of all, I'll thank News 18 Network and also AU Bank for having me here. And I think this is a very great platform that from every strata and from every corner of the country, people are here. I have found out the chosen ones are here, I think, and they have done great for the nation. We have two idols here, Kailash Satyarthi ji and also our own Dr. Prakash Amte ji and Mrs. Amte. I think they have played a very major role for, I think a lot of work has been done, and people like us, they inspire. And I think health, during COVID also, we saw a number of challenges. It was first of its kind. People from all over the world were affected. And in Mumbai, in Maharashtra, during COVID times, we did a lot of work developing jumbo facilities. We were always fascinated about China, how China built 1,000 bed hospital. But here in Mumbai, in BKC, we built number of hospitals, 1,000. It is all about your passion for doing it and your aim.
Now, I think a round of applause is called for. Actually, Bombay came out looking much better during COVID. The density of population in this city is much higher than other metros. But we actually got away with minimal scars, and we thank you for that.
I'll give you an example. I'll take a few minutes. These COVID hospitals were built by the government, but also there are a lot of examples where people like the doctor who has done this cleft lip and cleft palate operations, people like them came forward, and in Thane we built a 1,000 bed hospital under the leadership of Chief Minister without investing any money from the government. So people from all over came together, they invested. We always talk about corporate social responsibility. तो कुछ करना है तो corporate social responsibility जो है कोई बड़े-बड़े companies है वो किटी से निकाले. लेकिन it was all about the individual social responsibility. So these people are also following the same thing, individual social responsibility. From that individual social responsibility, that hospital, COVID hospital was built. So that made a change in number of lives.
That's extremely well said. You know, we speak about governmental help and we speak about corporate social responsibility, but I think you're coining a new phrase here. Individual social responsibility is called for. I'm coming back to you in a minute. Uttam Tibrewal, I didn't know much about him, but Sanjay says that he doesn't run the bank, it is Uttam who runs the bank. And he gave me another message. He said, you think it's the IIMs and the IITs who run the bank? Actual good work is much more than qualifications. So Uttam.
Thank you, Lata.
Many congratulations for the kind of work that you have been doing. But a question that I also posed to Sanjay. आप लोग बदलाव कैसे लाते हो? Tell us with live examples in AU Small Finance Bank.
So, thank you, Lata. Thanks for an introduction, which I don't deserve actually. So, I would like to have 2 minutes here. You asked Sanjay na, बदलाव कैसे आया? How this slogan comes. And Satyarthi साहब ने भी बोला ना कि it's not just a word, it's not just a slogan, it's a very powerful statement. So I'll just tell you, when last year हम जब सोच रहे थे, we were 3 years of bank, कि nobody knows about the AU Bank, AU Small Finance Bank, and we went to our creative agency, ad agency, and went to Amir Khan, कि we want to create awareness about the bank. So they asked कि आप क्या करते हैं, क्या किया आपने? So frankly speaking, Lata, when we sat there and we were briefing ad agency about us for last 25 years of history, when we were NBFC coming from those hinterlands, from those people where they don't have any credit access to them, When we told them what we did for the last 25 years, they all got so excited. They said, you are the really changing agents. You are the change agents of the society. आप ऐसी सोसाइटी को सर्व कर रहे हैं 25 साल से और आपने पूरा बदलाव लाए हैं हम. तो ये बदलाव वर्ड वहाँ से आया और फिर वहाँ से आया कि यार बदलाव हमसे है. हम सब मिलेंगे तो बदलाव होगा. जो which सत्यार्थी साहब ने बोला कि resonates like that. It's just a very strong statement. So from there we got this Badlaav Humse Hai, And we did the campaign, and from there, Network 18 supported us and picked this statement, and today we are here. So thank you so much, Network 18 and all August present here, Lata. And Lata, you know, banking, what we learned from last 25 years as NBFC and now 5.5 years as a bank, banking is by the people for the people. It's a people's business. You know, you need to understand people. You need to go to people. You need to understand their behavior, their psychology, and what they want, what they found. And as a banking, I take it is a service industry, and it's a payback to society. You know, it's not just a banking; it's a commercial decision. It's a payback to society because we come from those very humble background, middle-class families. Becoming bank, it's a godsend opportunity. And me and Sanjay always think that how we can pay back to society through this banking. And banking is such that strong platform that you touch the lives of everybody. You know, since you become newborn and to the end, banking is the bedrock of everything. So we are living it to it, and we are owning this Badlaav Humse Hai, and thanks to you for giving us this platform to present ourselves here. Thank you so much, Lata. Yeah.
May your tribe increase, Uttam, and may you change more lives. Dr. Shinde, you know, there are a lot of people over here who would like to scale up their work. You know, they change a small world. Like, I'm going to ask this question to everybody. You know, what kind of help can they expect from government or corporates when they want to scale up? Are government doors open? How do they approach you?
Obviously, I think this government is for the common people. As he rightly said, his bank is for the people, by the people, and of the people. This government is also for the people, of the people, and by the people. And this government is always open for everything. For health sector, I would really welcome each and everyone here. We have developed a PPP model in the government system. It is the responsibility of the government. Government का काम है health service provide करो, infrastructure दो, सब दो, लेकिन सब government नहीं कर सकते. Government cannot do everything. So it is like people like all of us, public-private partnership, like your bank, AU Bank, like other people who can come and join with the government and strengthen the infrastructure. We have done this. We have experimented this, and we are been successful in doing a public-private partnership where we are erecting large hospitals there and doing giving free of charge, no money.
Rupee COVID treatment.
No, COVID treatment we did. That was our responsibility, but it should be a long-lasting and sustainable thing. So we have come up with a PPP model where big hospitals or those who are interested do a social responsibility also. So we have developed, हम लोग ने एक hospital किया है वहाँ पर थाने में, कि that is all और based on the PPP there is zero cash counter, any element, कोई भी बड़े से बड़े बीमारी हो, छोटा से छोटा बीमारी हो, वहाँ पर जो सर्विस होता है, वहाँ पर जो ऑपरेशंस होते हैं, ट्रीटमेंट होते हैं, एक भी रुपया जो पेशेंट को लगता नहीं, it is all borne by the government and government schemes. We have this Mahatma Jyotiba Phule Yojana which is run in that hospital. तो ऐसे हम लोगों ने काम किया है. I have my own organization, foundation, where we do lot of work in healthcare, where we take camps, where we operate small children. Our basic thing is go in every corner of the society. We are now at present status, we are doing a camp in Gadchiroli also, where Dr. Prakash Amte comes from. So this is our responsibility. और वो हमने जो किया है foundation के through, we usually focus that Dr. Agrawal, I think, who operates on cleft lip. वैसे हम लोग छोटे बच्चों के जो हार्ट के एलिमेंट्स है, we focus on that because the major cause of death in newborns is because of the heart elements which are gone undiagnosed. So our foundation basically focuses on getting operated that patients from that children from all the corners of the Maharashtra.
I think this calls for
and
a
we are
round of
being
applause.
successful. We are being successful in eliminating the death rate, and also as a government we are coming up with a new scheme that will diagnose each and every child born in Maharashtra for this heart ailment, and in further course it will reduce the child mortality rate to a very high extent.
Deeply thankful to you,
And
Dr.
we are all,
Shinde.
the government is open for each and everyone, so they can expand their horizon and come join with the government. Government will help in any form.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shinde. Personally, though, I would say that your efforts to connect rural Kalyan with the urban areas of the Eastern Express Highway of Dombivli is something I have personally looking forward to. I'm a frequent visitor, by the way, to the Kalyan constituency. I have too many interests there. And these developments, of course, are also equally important as much as your initiatives for health. One more question to you, Dia. Often when you are in the path of change, you tend to get disheartened when things don't go. What is your word of encouragement? Have you encountered, you're pushing and sometimes it's against a wall, you're breaking your head. What's your word of advice?
Well, I think when you're working for change, you will always be pitted against, situations and circumstances that may not go your way. And there is, especially in the space of environment and climate change, things don't happen at the speed and at the rate at which you want them to happen, and at the level of change that is required or you want. I think in times like that, I always remember the words of Jane Goodall, who is one of my heroes, and she says that our job, our responsibility as individuals is to keep doing the work every day, persistently, relentlessly, and never give up on that. Because when we continue to do good work, that work itself offers us tremendous hope. And sometimes we may not see change within our lifetime, but if we just continue doing the work, change will occur. And I have seen in some of my personal actions, I may have started off alone, but very quickly, many like-minded people join you and become a part of your cause. And that is true for every person who has inclusive dreams, every person who dreams not just for themselves, but for many others.
So if you dream, you will discover, and then you will do. Thank you very much, Dia, Dr. Shinde, and Uttam. Oh, we have to stay on?
But I would request all the guests and Lata ma'am to stay back as we move on to the second set of Badlaav Humse Hai felicitation category, Heroes of the Environment. Now, this category is dedicated to the change makers who are working towards protecting and conserving the environment, contributing to a cleaner and greener tomorrow. From using technology to tackle waste, to increasing awareness about renewable energy sources, these Badlaav Humse Hai change makers are playing a critical role in helping the nation safeguard its environment and mitigate the effects of climate change. Dia, may I please request you to stay back? Okay. All right, sorry. Before we begin, here's a short clip revealing the power of the Badlaav Humse Hai Heroes of the Environment.
With the growing climate change concerns and the fragile state of the nature around us, it has become critical for everyone to step up and protect the environment more than ever. However, there are only a few who are diligently playing their part in bringing a constructive and impactful change in the environment. Amaresh Naresh Samant is restoring coastal habitats in Odisha by planting trees and creating gram jungles. Tackling the issue of waste management, Divya Shetty and Vishnu Vardhan protect farmers from the adverse effects of climate change. By reviving India's diminishing water bodies, DM Priyanka Niranjan is combating the nation's ongoing water crisis. The solar man of India, Chetan Solanki, is on a mission to make India solar. Advocating for animal rights and welfare, Atul Sareen is inspiring humanity by providing stray animals food, shelter, medication and care. Meet the heroes of the environment who are mobilizing, innovating and funding the path to a greener, sustainable and a holistic future for the world.
Well, let's call upon stage stage the heroes of the environment to felicitate them. Let me first invite Divya Shetty and Vishnu Vardhan. Next on stage, Amaresh Naresh Samant. Professor Chetan Singh Solanki on the stage, please. May I request you?
Nandita, may I just take 1 second?
Sure, ma'am.
I just learned that Dr. Shrikant Shinde has planted 1 lakh trees in Kalyan constituency. Twice it got burned down and he still managed to replant and at least 25,000 have been saved, despite being burned down by miscreants twice.
Well, that's wonderful. Wonderful to hear that. Next up, I would like to invite on stage Atul Sareen. And the next hero of the environment, DM Priyanka Niranjan, could not join us here today, but congratulations to her as well. So, continuing with these takeaways, we have 2 interesting conversations putting the spotlight on scalability and women change makers. Lata ma'am, over to you.
Thank you very much, Nandita, and may I thank my guests for the moment. We will take a blank check to re-invite you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, actually, we have now an extremely interesting and important person, someone who has taught the world that you can make corporate profits and leverage it for social good. We have with us joining all the way from Bangalore, Mrs. Sudha Murthy, environmentalist, author, educationist, and of course, philanthropist. Mrs. Murthy, thank you very much. I think I'll face the camera. That'll be better. Mrs. Murthy, thank you very much indeed for joining us. You have been heading for 25 years the Infosys Foundation. If you can tell us something about this journey of 25 years, what it has meant to you.
Well, Infosys Foundation is a great institution. When we started that, it was a baby and I was the mother. When I completed 25 years, Foundation became mother and I became a baby, because I learned so much in 25 years. Actually, it taught me what my country is, and what people want in the lower state of the society, what it means to work in a calamity. We handled 14 national calamities and 1 pandemic. We worked in many states, and name a thing which you have not done. You know, a pond, a road, archaeology restoration, scholarship, art, culture, medical, dharmashala, midday meal, safe drinking water, hygiene, name a thing, everything we touched. And I always believed building a base of the pyramid than the top of the pyramid. For me, my country means those people who are below poverty line, and as long as they get 3 meals a day, 3 sets of clothes, and education minimum up to 12th standard, and particularly life skill learning, one life skill learning and many skilled education if we give, then only I consider my country is great, or I feel happy about my country. And last 25 years we worked in every part of the society, and I'm very happy and contented with that.
Oh, that's extremely pleasant. Mrs. Murthy, you know, how does one measure the change that one has wrought, and how do you ensure scalability? A lot of people can do small changes, but how do you ensure scalability?
First we should, at least in foundation we did prototyping, and we had a different type of measurement for every project. For example, education project, if you work continuously for 12 years, you can see the results.
Oh.
If you work, medical projects, you can see within couple of years. If you work with the Devdasis, which we did, we saw the effect after 20 years.
Oh.
So every project has their own method of measurement. And again, it depends upon the person who leads that project, how much passion she or he has. And the measurement is done only not in the digits, the way you can see the sale was 100, next year sale was 200. There is nothing like that. You can see the change in a person over a period of time, change in education in a decade, and medical is faster to see. But you have to work continuously. Second thing, it should be sustainable. You work for 3 years and you stop it, then it's, that is not a good project. And you should have an exit policy for every project. It is not that continuously we will help. Continuously we may monitor, but after some time it should be self-sustained and self-monitoring. So there are many strategies are there. Depending on each project, we will implement that, and we have seen.
Okay, so the scalability is in time. I take your point. I think it's a Chinese proverb, isn't it? When you want to see change in your time, you give people money. When you want to change for 10 years, plant trees. When you want to change for centuries, then teach the people. Take your point. Mrs. Murthy, you were heading for 25 years the Infosys Foundation. Now you're heading the Murthy Foundation. What will be the new areas of focus?
Yeah, I love to do a lot more in archaeology, which was my favorite subject when I was in school, and I continue to do that. More on the Indic studies and ancient manuscripts. So recently, Murthy Foundation did a Bhumi Puja for Murthy Center for Indic Studies at Bhandarkar Institute in Pune. And of course, giving scholarship to worthy students, medical help, medical hospital we want to build somewhere, and animal care. This is our daughter-in-law Aparna's initiation, that she loves animals and particularly dogs. So we want to do a lot more for the animal care. For the time being, we have started all these things. Over a period of time, we may also do a lot more things, I suppose.
Oh, that's good to hear. Archaeology and history are my favorite subjects too, but I don't let CNBC TV18 know that. I just tell them it is economics. Oh, well, Mrs. Murthy, finally, there are a lot of change makers listening to you. What's your word of advice?
This is the real puja, I want to tell them. This is a real puja, this is a real worship. You are serving the children of God. You are trying to bring the change, and it is always a great satisfaction you get. Today, when you look at the magazines and particularly in COVID time, all the psychiatrists and counselors were telling you should help people, then you feel better.
Yes.
That's a great medicine for the human beings. I said, every social worker does that, and that may be the reason they are extremely happy. Helping people is really gives enormous happiness to ourselves. And what is the purpose of life? The purpose of life is, of course, you have to look after your family, etc. But beyond that, there is something that is helping fellow human beings. And that's the reason we call philanthropy, love fellow human beings. I extend it including animals. And when you do that, at the end of your life, when you turn back, it is not what asset you earned, how many people were more important, what change you made to them is more important, and that gives you more satisfaction than any amount of money, any amount of degree, or any amount of honor. The real happiness is helping others.
Thank you, Mrs. Murthy. When these words come from you, we know that you really mean it and you know what it means. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. And thank you for highlighting the impact of meaningful actions of change makers in empowering and promoting inclusive growth. Now, our next conversation is themed, and it's my favorite theme, women reformers, leading from the front. And I would like to invite back on stage Dia Mirza and also social activist Ms. Sudha Varghese, who is championing the cause of empowering the Musahars, that is the Mahadalit community of Bihar, and she has received the Padma Shri for this relentless effort of hers. Sudha Varghese and Dia Mirza. Ma'am, can you take a mic, please? Dia, you too. Thank you. Ms. Varghese, first of all, you tell me, my father is also from Kottayam. It is back of beyond, and in those days it was even more. How did a lady from Kottayam land up with tribals in Bihar? How did that change happen?
Excuse me, they are not tribals. They belong to the scheduled caste, the last rung in the caste
social ladder, yes.
Yes. Now, how did I land up in Bihar? When I was studying in class 8, I happened to see a magazine with some article on Bihar with the focus on the poor and the poverty of the people in Bihar. That is the scheduled caste, the Musahar community in Bihar. And there were some pictures showing how they live on the roadside, mane tuta futa jhopdi. So this really shook me, because even though I was studying in class 8, that time Kerala had the communist government. I too used to join them for Murdabad, Sindabad. So I felt that this is very unjust, that some people have to live on the roadside in broken huts and nothing is being done for them. And what I had seen in Kerala, the poor had 1 lakh rupees worth of a house plus 10 cents of land. So that is something decent. And how come in Bihar this is happening? So that time I decided that I want to come to Bihar and see who these poor are and what this poverty is like.
But it must have been difficult, no? Even language would have been a problem. How do you overcome these, drawbacks?
Certain problems are I am still overcoming certain problems.
Okay.
But that is not related to language. I speak the language very easily, the language of the people.
No, I meant language just as an
Maghali.
example. What I mean is it's not easy.
Okay.
So how do you overcome, negatives, challenges?
Well, I think before I overcome one challenge, another 10 challenges come. But I have to deal with that. Otherwise, I cannot continue. And I can also say that the people, particularly the women, are with me.
Oh, that's the point. Dia, do you think that women are bigger change makers? At least in our list, we notice an overwhelming number of women. And our research team, Radhika and all, say that they noticed an extraordinary presence of women among change makers. Something in our DNA?
Oh, absolutely. There's got to be, but also according to very recent reports that were, focused on changemakers during the global pandemic, women came out the best, with the strongest leadership, the most efficient leadership, the most empathetic leadership globally. So I think we're capable of doing wonderful things so long as we can help each other and support one another.
A round of applause for that, and may I call the fourth lady on stage. Nandita, over to you. Do we stay on? Do we have to stay on?
She said something very powerful. I just want to reiterate that. You asked her about a communication barrier. I think when the language of communication is empathy, every job gets done.
I like to make one intervention. My Musahar community women are very frightened. They are not vocal. But for a rape case, when the police did not arrest the culprit, and they were threatening the villagers, our people, so they were running away, and I decided that the only way to put pressure on the police is block the road, so that it will be a visible protest. In no time, 500 women were ready on the road. That was the first time they ever got out to block the road with powerful slogans. So the media came, and the police was very angry, especially the DSP, saying that आप पेपरबाजी क्यों किए हैं? I said, हम लोग पेपरबाजी नहीं किया, मीडिया से पूछिए क्यों वे लोग किए हैं? So the women, they understood injustice was done to them, and police is not supporting them, supporting our cause. And so we got our work done with the women coming out on the road.
Coming together.
Yes, absolutely. That's a diametrically opposite image or a message I got from my father when we were young. He would say, "Modalla korachu bayami rikette." I mean, you are a girl, you must have a sense of fear. That's what we should learn to overcome. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your advice. Yeah,
Again, all of you all to stay back. Let's now move on to the next third category of Badlaav Humse Hai felicitation category, the Pathfinders. This category is dedicated to the changemakers who have paved the way for inclusive and sustainable growth by empowering the underprivileged with their initiatives. From putting an end to human trafficking to increasing the representation of trans people in the mainstream. These Badlaav Humse Hai changemakers' role as pathfinders is enabling people from underprivileged communities to overcome their circumstances and choose progress. Before we begin, here's a short clip revealing the might of the Badlaav Humse Hai, the Pathfinders.
It is one thing to battle fears and hardships, but it takes guts and a positivity to turn them into opportunities. Battling circumstances and fighting against all odds, some changemakers have the ability to turn their biggest weakness to strength and also motivate others to take on a similar course. By training and skilling rural women of Rajasthan in handicraft design, Ruma Devi is empowering thousands of women and making them financially independent. Illuminating lives of the differently abled, Piyush Bardia is helping many underprivileged youth to find new hope and inspiration. Hasina Kharbhi is combating human trafficking and transforming lives of women by providing them local economic opportunities. Enabling women farmers to become self-reliant, Sukhiyabai is teaching women farmers about sustainable agricultural practices. Dr. Yoga S. Nambiar, through her campaign, is working towards not only empowering the transgender community, but also driving social inclusion. Unfettered, unstoppable, unparalleled. Meet the unsung heroes, the pathfinders, who are not only creating opportunities, but also working for an inclusive and sustainable environment.
I would also like to invite now on stage another great actress and one of my favorites once again, Gul Panag. She's done some great movies like Door. I would like to invite her on stage to join Sudha Varghese, Diya Mirza and Lata Venkatesh to felicitate Badlaav Humse Hai's The Pathfinders. A very warm welcome to Gul. I would now like to call upon the Pathfinders one by one and felicitate them here on the stage. Hasina Karbi. Congratulations, Hasina. Calling upon stage next, Ruma Devi. Many congratulations, Ruma. Next up, Dr. Yoga S. Nambiar. Congratulations, Dr. Nambiar. Calling next is Sukhia Bai. I would now like to call upon stage Piyush Bardia. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this evening we have assembled here to celebrate the unsung heroes, the heroes who have embarked on this path to bring about a meaningful change. So, Mr. Piyush Bardia, on stage, please. Well, congratulations to the Pathfinders and thank you to our esteemed guests. It is time now to dive deeper into the corporate philanthropy and social activism. Over to you, Lata ma'am.
May I now invite all of you to yet another highlight. When we speak about Pathfinders, we have to speak about someone who has taken corporate social responsibility to a new high. We hear of serial entrepreneurs. How many of us can boast of serial philanthropy? That's what Mr. Narayana Murthy is all about. And I think he's joining us all the way from Bangalore to speak to us. Mr. Narayana Murthy, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. That's really kind of you, especially at a time when Infosys is celebrating its 40th birthday. Thank you for finding time for us. You've often spoken about corporate philanthropy as needed to create equality, to what you called equitable society. Can you tell us, what has been your own journey and how has your philanthropy contributed to an equitable society?
Well, I think in a developing country, the importance of contributing to public good cannot be de-emphasized. And it's a good idea that the government has introduced this 2% of the revenues towards CSR. It's an excellent idea. Infosys has been participating in corporate philanthropy much before this became a mandatory one. We founded Infosys Foundation in 1995 to address the basic needs of the poorest of the poor. We also used to give scholarship to computer science PhD students in several Indian universities and institutes of higher learning. And now we have the Infosys Science Foundation that honors researchers. Research and higher education is about alleviating the country in the medium and long term, while we need to address the basic needs of the poor right now. So both are being done by Infosys, and I think this is a very good idea of adding value to the work of our government.
Okay. Well, Mr. Murthy, just a little while ago, I was speaking about if you want to change for generations, then you teach the people, an old Chinese proverb. Now, if you can tell us, how can corporates and the government use the education system to create people who will think about social transformation?
We have done a good job in expanding the number of universities, in expanding the number of primary and secondary schools. There is absolutely no doubt. However, what is needed is to ensure that our children learn problem-solving methods, they practice critical thinking, Socratic questioning, and analytical thinking, etc. In order to do that, we have already we have already taken a step forward. That is, universities like Sai University, Kriya University, Ashoka University, they are all doing a very, very good job reorienting our college education. But I think it will be a good idea if our primary and secondary education too can help our children become a lot more curious, become more questioning, become more analytical thinking, etc. That's what I would say.
That's a great message. Now, I want one more message from you, Mr. Murthy. There are a lot of change makers listening to you. What is your message to them?
Well, we are at a very critical juncture in the history of this country. For the first time in the last, 400 years or so, there is a respect for the country's achievements. India is listened to with attention. We are now the head of the G20. So lots of good things have happened. Now, this is the time for our youngsters to work hard, to be disciplined, to have a good work ethic, to have high aspirations, and achieve the plausibly impossible, achieve something that we can all be truly proud of. And that is really possible because we are at that takeoff stage.
Mr. Murthy, it was a pleasure listening to you. Thank you very much for being part of us on a very big day for us. I hope he could hear the claps also. We could hear him. Well, now I want to call upon stage someone who is a personal favorite as a change maker. May I invite Mr. Prakash Baba Amte onto the stage. A personal favorite because I have had the pleasure of, as a schoolgirl, receiving a prize from his father, Baba Amte. बिल्कुल सर, हमारा हिंदी चैनल भी है, मराठी चैनल भी है, गुजराती चैनल भी है, तो हम थोड़ा बहुत बाइलिंगुअल हैं. Okay, Prakash ji, you are in a family where social work comes naturally to you. आपके पिताजी ने तो कितने लोगों का जिंदगी ही बदलाया है. ऐसे माहौल में बड़ा होना क्या होता है? ये अनुभव क्या होता है?
बाबा आमटे को सब लोग जानती है.
जी हाँ.
और उन्होंने being a son of a landlord, he enjoyed life like. He was a cine critic, he was a lawyer, he had a racer car. लेकिन गांधी जी की प्रेरणा से जब वो भारत छोड़ो आंदोलन में जो उसके बाद में उनका जीवन बदल गया पूरा. He started leprosarium in 1949. 75 साल हो रहे अभी. और उनकी और मेरी माता साधना ताई, उनके संस्कार में मैं दोनों बड़े होते गए. और साथ में सब कुष्ठ रोगी थे. तो कोई एम्बिशन नहीं था. मैं कैलाश जी ने बोला कि आप हाई एम कीजिए, सपना देखिए. कुछ सपना नहीं था. अदर वे राउंड. लेकिन जब पता चला कि बाबा का काम
नहीं देखा, वही
सपना नहीं देखा या, लेकिन बाबा का काम आगे बढ़ाना चाहिए, ये थोड़ा सा बड़ा होने के बाद हमको हमने डिसाइड किया. और हम लोग फॉर्चुनेटली वहाँ मेडिकल कॉलेज में वहाँ प्रवेश मिला. डॉक्टर बन के बाबा का काम और अच्छी तरह से हम करने का सोच रहे थे. उसके बाद में उन्होंने बोला कि अभी लेप्रोसी का काम तो अच्छा चल रहा है, आपको पिकनिक ले जाएंगे. मैं इमेजिन पिकनिक कहाँ ले जाए, जहाँ हम अभी काम कर रहे हैं. पिकनिक 1970 और वहाँ त्रिवेणी संगम है, बहुत अच्छा है, मल्टी स्टार, मतलब घना जंगल. और दिसंबर के माह में हम लोग वहाँ गए थे जहाँ बहुत ठंड होती है. और जब बोले आए तो हम आजू बाजू का इलाका देखे, तो पहले गांव में ले गए तो लोग डर के मारे बाहर आए. मैंने तो बोला इतना क्यों डर है इनको, सिविलाइज लोगों के, सो कॉल्ड सिविलाइज लोगों के बारे में इतना क्यों डर है. लेकिन एक डिफरेंस था, हम लोग पूरा स्वेटर और शाल पहन के थे, वो नंगे थे, जस्ट लॉइंग क्लॉथ. शायद शर्म आती होंगी, शायद या सिविलाइज लोगों ने उनको तकलीफ दिया होगा. कम्युनिकेशन नहीं हो पाया, सब भाग गए. सो दैट वॉज द टर्निंग पॉइंट इन माई लाइफ. कुछ करना है तो इनके लिए करना चाहिए, अपने पास तो बहुत कुछ है. 1970
मैं आपको पूछने ही वाली थी कि what made you adopt Gadchiroli and the people of Gadchiroli as your home? What was the inspiration?
It was a challenging work basically because they didn't want civilized people to work for them. They never invited.
Okay.
Yeah, suspicious थे. Experience बुरा होगा शायद.
और वहाँ पे
तो that was a testing our patience. सब छोड़ के हम लोग गए. माय वाइफ मंदाकिनी, लव मैरिज था इसलिए वो मेरे साथ आई. अदरवाइज नोबडी वुड हैव कम देयर. जहाँ 6 महीने रास्ता बंद था, बिजली नहीं थी 22 साल, टेलीफोन का सवाल ही नहीं था. तो इस माहौल में उसने जो साथ दिया, और कुछ यंगस्टर्स थे, तो पेशेंस रखा. दैट वाज द ओनली थिंग. कोई प्लानिंग नहीं था. दोनों डॉक्टर थे हम लोग, तो अस्पताल चलाएंगे, दैट वाज इनफ. उतना ही चलाते तो ठीक था. लेकिन जब लोगों का विश्वास आया लैंग्वेज सीखने के बाद, तो पता चला डॉक्टर बोलते खाना खाने के बाद आप दवाई लो, या उनके पास खाने के लिए अनाज नहीं है. जंगल में जो भी मिले, चींटियाँ, चूहे खाते थे, भालू खाते थे, एनीथिंग दैट मूव्स, वो उनका खाना था, कंदमूल और ये। तो फिर हमने बोला इनको खाना कैसा, या न्यूट्रिशन के लिए खेती सिखाना चाहिए। और अवेयरनेस के लिए स्कूल स्टार्ट किया।
So आपने सिर्फ मेडिकल हेल्प नहीं, आपने 360 डिग्री
नेचुरली वो ग्रोथ है, विदाउट प्लानिंग, विदाउट ड्रीमिंग।
Okay, that's very important. You also need to not
लोगों की समस्याएं देख के ये एक एक काम बढ़ते गया। हमारे साथ में काफ़ी सारे लोग थे, जवान लोग, वो काम करने के बाबा के प्रेरणा से आए थे, तो सब ने मिलकर एक टीम वर्क था। और जहाँ एजुकेशन जीरो था वहाँ हमने मौका दिया। आज बहुत से बच्चे डॉक्टर बने, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट है, और वो देख के बाकी लोगों में बाहरी अवेयरनेस आ गया कि अपना को अच्छा एजुकेशन मिलना चाहिए। तो सब फील्ड में हमारे बच्चे, उन्होंने क्या डॉक्टर बने, इंजीनियर बने, लेक्चरर बने, एमपीएससी के एग्ज़ाम दे रहे।
Oh, that's very good.
अच्छी बात यह है कि हमारे बच्चे भी उन्हीं के साथ पढ़े, आदिवासी के साथ में, और उनका एजुकेशन पूरा होने के बाद वो वापस आके वहीं जंगल में हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं। हालांकि वो ही काम कर रहे हैं, हम उनके कृपा से वहाँ रहते हैं अभी, टोटली रिटायर्ड नाउ। और जो बच्चे अच्छी एजुकेशन
प्रोग्रेस किए
तो वो 70% वापस आके अपने ज़िले में काम कर रहे हैं, एज ए डॉक्टर, एज ए टीचर, एज ए इंजीनियर, एज ए लॉयर। तो ये बहुत बड़ा मतलब सेटिस्फैक्शन है कि ये उन लोगों को लगता है, हाँ, सिटी का अट्रैक्शन सबको होता है। So instead of taking education in the cities, they have come back.
That was actually going to be my question to you. कि आप ये spark कैसे जगाते हैं? That you make children give back.
जिस तरह से हम वहाँ रहते हैं, simplicity is हमारी ताकत है। कहाँ गई रम्या, कहाँ गई? हम लोगों ने उसने फोटो मांगा था और मेरा फोटो था बनियन वाला, तो she didn't accepted it. बोले ऐसा नहीं, अच्छा बोले आपने सिविलाइज फोटो होना चाहिए। हमने बोला बाबा बोलते थे इफ यू कैन टॉलरेट ऑब्स्सीन पॉवर्टी एंड वल्गर एग्जिबिशन ऑफ वेल्थ, दोनों हम एक्सेप्ट करते हैं। तो कम से कम उनके लिए काम करते हो तो ज़्यादा डिफरेंस तो नहीं होना चाहिए, ताकि वो अपने समझे। तो इसलिए हम लोगों ने कपड़े कम पहनना शुरू किया और लोगों के साथ उनके फैमिली में घुल मिल गए। सो दे थिंक दैट इज अवर देयर फैमिली। इसके कोई ट्राइबल नहीं, ये नहीं, बाबा ने नाम दिया लोगों को बिरादरी प्रकल्प, पीपल्स ब्रदरहुड प्रोजेक्ट। और इनके साथ साथ और एक एडिशनल बात है कि जो एनिमल्स वो खाते थे उनके बच्चों को मत मारो करके हमने उनको कन्विंस किया। तो एक बहुत बड़ा ऑर्फनेज अपने फैमिली मेम्बर बन गए, जिसमें तेंदुआ है, भालू है, मगरमच्छ है, सांप है, सब है। और साथ में उनको खेती पढ़ाया, तो अभी खेती शिकार करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, फार्मिंग कर रहे हैं, एजुकेशन से उनको नौकरी मिल रही है। तो ये एनिमल्स है, ये घर के मेम्बर बन गए। तो लेपर्ड्स है या भालू है, दे कम फॉर ए वॉक खुले में, मतलब बाकी लोग जो अननोन है उनके साथ रिस्क नहीं ले सकते, खेत में ले जाते। लेकिन ये अवेयरनेस आ गया, शिकार बंद हो गई लोगों में। हेल्थ के बारे में पहले हम लोग दोनों डॉक्टर थे, बाद में एजुकेशन, बाद में एनवायरमेंट प्रोटेक्शन। एनिमल की हत्या मत करो, उनको भी जीने का अधिकार है। तो ये जो एनिमल्स अपने घर में है, अनफॉर्चुनेटली दे हैव टू stay with me because they cannot stay sent back to the nature because they were not trained by their own mother. I did the only mother's role, but उनको डिफेंड कैसा करना चाहिए सिखाने के लिए उनकी ओरिजिनल मदर होना चाहिए। तो ये सब एनिमल्स आज भी अपने पास है, वो बूढ़े होने के बाद वो चले जाएंगे और ये ऑर्फन भी बंद हो जाएगा कि नाउ दे स्टॉप हंटिंग।
हमारा ड्रीम था कि ताडोबा देखें, अभी लगता है अभी ड्रीम बनाएंगे कि हम गढ़चिरौली देखें।
अभी जरूर आइए।
सर बहुत सारे चेंज मेकर्स हैं यहाँ पे, उनके लिए कोई मैसेज दीजिए।
तो मैं तो आपका पहले अभिनंदन करना चाहता हूँ कि इस बहाने भारत के कोने कोने से जो लोग आए हैं सभी का अभिनंदन करता हूँ मैं। पता चलता है मीडिया वो अपने तरह से बेचारे साइलेंटली काम करते रहते थे, इस बहाने कम से कम लोग उनको काम जानने लगे, उनसे इंस्पिरेशन लेके और काम बढ़ेगा। ये गवर्नमेंट तो अपनी तरह से करती है, लेकिन एनजीओ जो काम कर रही है उनको ये आपने एक्सपोजर दिया, उससे बड़ा फ़ायदा बाकी लोगों को इंस्पिरेशन मिलने के लिए होगा। तो एक है। दूसरा एक है कि मैं आपको खुद का उदाहरण देता हूँ कि अमीरी या संपन्नता देखना सब लोग चाहते हैं। अपना देश इतना बड़ा है, आज भी कहते हैं लोग कि 30% पॉपुलेशन इज़ बिलो पॉवर्टी लेवल। ये तो मेरे को अच्छा नहीं लगता ये ऐसा, मतलब एक तरफ सुपर पावर है, एक तरफ पे 30% पॉपुलेशन, और ये ट्राइबल जो एरिया जहाँ हम गए वो कम से कम 10 करोड़ है। तो ये काम क्यों स्टार्ट किया हमने, क्योंकि बाबा ने डेलिबरेटली पिकनिक के नाम से हमको एक्सपोज किया। इस एरिया में जाके आप लोगों ने एक बार देखना चाहिए। हर एक ने काम करने की ज़रूरत नहीं, लेकिन आपका सोच बदल जाएगा कि ऐसे भी लोग रहते हैं, इनके पास कुछ नहीं, वो कंप्लेंट नहीं करते। सबसे बड़ी बात है। और दूसरा, आदिवासी हमने क्या सीखा, वो लोग भीख नहीं मांगते, वहाँ बलात्कार नहीं होते। यह इनका कम्युनिटी देखिए, कल्चर कितना रिच है, चोरी नहीं करते, तो काफ़ी सारा टॉलरेंस बहुत ज़्यादा है, कंप्लेंट नहीं करते, तो काफ़ी कुछ सीखने लायक है। मैं सभी को इस बहाने निमंत्रण देता हूँ कि कभी समय या मौका निकाल के आप आइए। गढ़चिरौली में हिमल कसा नाम से हमारा गांव में हम काम करते हैं, और आपका फिर से अभिनंदन करते हैं कि इन सभी लोगों को काम के आपने प्रकाश में लाया, और काफ़ी लोग इससे इंस्पिरेशन।
हमको इतना बड़ा दर्जा मत दीजिए, वी डोंट डू एनी वर्क साइलेंटली, हम जोर से ही करते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच, आपके ये 4 बातों से बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला है। आई थिंक अ राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज इज कॉल्ड फॉर। I think the first message is, where should we take our children for a picnic? That is one very big message that Dr. Prakash Amte has given us. Thank you very much, sir. Nadita, what's the order for us? Do we stay on?
Well, thank you, Prakash Baba Amte, for enlightening us with your knowledge about the process of becoming a change maker. I request Prakash Baba Amte and Lata ma'am to please stay back. This brings us to the last Badlaav Humse Hai felicitation category, Progress Makers. Now, this category is dedicated to the change makers who have taken transformative steps that have resulted in large-scale progress, from enabling employment opportunities in the informal work sector to making public spaces inclusive and friendly for specially abled people. These Badlaav Humse Hai Changemakers initiatives have led to the gradual betterment of communities and society as a whole. Before we begin, here's a short clip revealing the impact of the Badlaav Humse Hai Progress Makers.
Every time a large-scale social change happens, there are many unsung heroes who work tirelessly, have innovative ideas, and have an indomitable spirit. It is their undying passion to change the society and uplift the lives of the marginalized that brings a transformation in the society. Dr. Gayatri Vasudevan has impacted over 1 million lives by providing informal workers skill training and connecting them with better livelihood opportunities. Faisal Ali Dar is demonstrating how the power of sports can transform lives of J&K youth for the better. By designing and implementing end-to-end solutions, Prateek Khandelwal is making commercial buildings accessible for the differently abled. Mahesh Jadhav, with his relentless efforts, is rehabilitating and empowering the lives of HIV+ children. By teaching children in rural areas, Sultan Singh Palsania is ensuring that no child is deprived of the right to education. Meet the progress makers of Badlaav Humse Hai, who are making large-scale social impacts and changing lives for a resilient future.
Well, before I call the progress makers on stage, I would also like to invite Diya Mirza back to join us on stage to felicitate these progress makers. Well, inviting on stage the first progress maker, Sultan Palsania. Well, congratulations to Mr. Palsania. Next up, inviting on stage Faisal Ali Dar. Next up, I would like to call upon Dr. Gayatri Vasudevan. Calling upon stage next, Mr. Mahesh Jadhav. Congratulations, Mr. Jadhav. Calling upon next, Mr. Prateek Khandelwal. Well, congratulations to the progress makers and requesting Dia Mirza, Prakash Baba Amte and Lata ma'am to stay back. But before I thank all the guests today, I would like to request you all to join us on the stage once again, Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, Gul Panag, Uttam Tibriwal, Sudha Varghese. Can we please have you on stage? Dr. Shrikant Shetty, can I please request you to come back on stage, please? Well, with that, Lata ma'am, I kindly request you to present a special token of appreciation from Network 18. Token of appreciation for our guests. Would request everybody to stay back on the stage once. I would like to request all the board members of AU Small Finance Bank to join us for a photo op on the stage, please. May I also request Mr. Avinash Kaul to join us on stage, please. Well, with that, we have almost reached the end of the grand finale event of Network 18 presents Badlaav Humse Hai, powered by the AU Small Finance Bank. But before we close the night, I would first invite Mr. Shurveer Singh Shekhawat, Head of Marketing, Video Banking and TFX Initiatives, AU Small Finance Bank, for a vote of thanks. Sure. We can all go back to our seats. Thank you so much. You can stand here.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I am privileged here to represent every AUite on behalf of AU Small Finance Bank and every employee of AU Small Finance Bank. I would like to extend my gratitude, and I think thank you is a very small word. धन्यवाद एक बहुत छोटा शब्द है इस मौके पर आप सब लोगों को to express करने के लिए कि हम हमारा हर AUite AU के अंदर क्या सोचता है और कैसे कृतज्ञ है इस समय आप लोगों से के सामने सम्मुख होकर. बदलाव एक सोच है. हमारे इंस्पिरेशन संजय जी, उत्तम जी हमेशा एक बात कहते थे कि आज भी कहते हैं रोज कि वी शुड हैव पर्पस इन लाइफ. फॉर एवरी AUite द मैसेज एवरी डे, every morning is that we should have a deep purpose in our life, and that purpose is Badlaav Humse Hai. That how can we bring change in our own life, in our families, in the society around us. And as a banker, like Uttam sir said, the bank is of the people, for the people, by the people. So how we can influence the change in the society. And I think with the great help of Network 18 and with the great emotion which every AUite carries within them, we commit to you that we stand for change, constant change, and change is something which we accept and imbibe in our daily lives. I express my gratitude to all the dignitaries, Shri Baba Amte, Shri Shrikant Shinde ji, Diya Mirza ji, Gul Panag and Kailash Satyarthi ji, our Honorable Minister, Mr. Lodha, and everybody else to find out time and come here to help us inspire and motivate the change makers, the real heroes of India. The real heroes of this evening are the change makers. अगर हम सब लोग मिलके आज अगर जितने भी लोग इस प्रोग्राम को देख रहे हैं यहाँ बैठे हैं उनमें से किसी एक को भी इंस्पायर कर पाएँ कि हम अपने कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ नहीं करके आगे बढ़ें और कोई चेंज ला पाएँ इस दुनिया के अंदर, I think this program will be successful and we will lean forward for that and we look forward for that. I thank you, each one of you, to come here today and help us do that. But in the last, I thank each one of the Network 18 team who has worked behind the scenes for last 6 months to bring this together. From the editorial team, and there's a long list of people, but I think Adnan, Anisha, Lochan, Radhika, 2 Radhikas, Anisha, 2 Anishas, I think. Avinash sir, Shiv, Sahil, Lada ma'am, Nandita, everybody has done a fantastic job to identify these change makers, bring them today, and organize such an amazing event. And thank you very much on behalf of every AUite. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shekhawat. I would now like to invite Lata Venkatesh, Editor-in-Chief, CNBC TV 18, for the vote of thanks. Lata ma'am.
Well, just a word. I think Shurveer has done an excellent job of enlisting the people who have come and helped us put out such a show. People who have, with their own work, inspired us. So I won't repeat all the names again, but thank you very much, all of you. I mean, if I start, it'll be a very long list. So it was Swagatika, whether it's Shaheen or whether it's Mr. Solanki, the Amtes, every one of you. Thank you very much for coming. And a very big thank you to the AU team, the AU Small Finance team. Sanjay, Uttam, Shurveer. I know it's not just the three of you. The entire board is here. Thank you very much for inspiring us to do something meaningful in our daily grind. We are deeply grateful for making this one of the best evenings that CNBC TV 18 has ever put up. My gratitude.
Well, thank you very much for that, Lata ma'am. Well, it has been an incredible 6-month-long journey for Badlaav Humse Hai. We hope that the changemakers and our campaign has inspired many of you to believe in the power of change. On behalf of Network 18, we would like to thank our changemakers, eminent panelists and guests, and AU Leadership Board for being part of the Badlaav Humse Hai campaign. Thank you everyone for joining in this evening. Finally, I would also like to request you, in fact, invite you for dinner as well as cocktails. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a wonderful evening.